Hello. In the last video of the scratch project, I got this little explosion working. Since the video, I've actually brightened the color up a little bit. Now, in this video, we're going to aim to make an animated UFO. So this small UFO that would come through the screen. And in this video, we'll probably only make the UFO and give it a bit of an animation, and then in the next video we'll get it moving. So we'll get started on that one. We'll just call that UFO. And let's zoom in a bunch here. So let's see. We'll find some colors for that. I think I'm going to start off with close to the default purple color. Let's see. I'm going to want that in both places. So let's actually turn off the gradient to start and just draw a little patch here that we can use. Oh, that's not what we wanted to do at all. Let's click off of that first. Then change the colors. So we'll color pick this, and then we'll just go like this. So somewhere around that lines. Then we can get rid of this. Oh, I guess we can't. Alright, we'll do that again. I have to draw a circle to be able to pick that. So we'll draw a circle to be able to reselect that gradient, which I forgot to do there. And that circle can also be the start of our little UFO here. So, maybe we'll start this a little bit bigger. So I'll click on it, Alt key to expand from center. And that way I won't have to zoom in so close to do the actual drawing. Alright. So I'm going to draw in a measuring line. And we'll turn this so that it doesn't have a fill in it. Let's see, maybe something. Oh, that's bizarre. I didn't actually know I could do that. That's cool. That's a gradient with alpha. Let's turn that off though. That's an interesting thing. I didn't actually know that could be done. So let's pick that up and center it. Actually, it's too fat to center yet. We'll slim it down. I'm going to make the edge of the UFO quasi-chunky, I think. That should be okay. So I'll go with something like that. Bring this up a bit. And then I'll zoom in to get some points drawn into this. So I'm going to want one right here. And I'm going to want one right here. Try to get these really even if I can. So those look pretty close. And I'll do one here as close as I can. And same thing over here. Trying to get as close as I can. There. And then I'm probably going to want one exactly like that over here. And this is just to cut off the handles, so it doesn't have handles on the one side of the control dots there. And then we'll use the measuring lines to just pick them up. So we'll delete that one, and those ones we keep. So we'll delete that, we'll delete this. And that gives us pretty much everything. So we'll zoom out. And we'll zoom back in to line things up more straight. So we'll just kind of rough them out here. Doesn't need to be 100% perfect. Control C to undo that. Grab the wrong one. There we go. I tend to be a little bit overly perfectionist about things and trying to get things too even sometimes. But that's kind of my nature, so. Well, something like that. It helps to have the edges straighter because we're going to put some rotating lights on the edges and make our UFO like that way. And those ones look fine, I guess. So let's see what that looks like. So in that, I don't know if I should keep that or not. In a way, I kind of like it. But no, I don't think I will. We'll delete that off. Let's see, what do we have selected there? I'm not sure why the delete option isn't there for that. Oh, there it is. Looked grayed out. So the next thing I'd probably want to do here is make a copy of this. So let's center this first. That missed. There we go. We'll create a copy and paste the copy right on top. We'll click off and make sure we have the upper layer. And then what I think I'll try here is making a dome that changes colors. So we'll get the 4 control points on the corners here. So the shift key, we'll come over, get this one. Shift key, grab all of those, and just scrap them. And that should give us a back and a dome. So we'll click off of that, and I'm going to make some lights for the sides. First off, actually, let's line up. So we're going to need a line to do that. So draw something about that big should do. Just so we can line up the edge. So we'll grab this, we'll grab this. And we'll try to center the edge in the line. So around there should work. We'll see with the little lights that we're going to put onto it. So one thing that might actually make things look a little better here is if we take this larger shape. Let's take the larger shape and take the dome off of it. So we'll take the dome shape off of the larger shape so that there's not two copies of it. So I'm going to delete that. So now we should have... Oh, that went south. Yeah, that's going south. So let's pull that to the front first. Make sure it's all the way in the front. And then we'll attempt to take the dome off. And then hopefully this will work this time. Delete. So that gives us this part. And this part is a little bit separate. So let's pull these control points down just a smidge, like that. And then we're going to reset the gradient on the flat edge. So let's take this one and let's make it a little bit darker. See what kind of effect that gets. We might want to reset this gradient too. And I think that they'll line up a little bit differently that way. Whoops, we're not doing what I'm trying to do here. We'll get this one a little, so it's kind of lighted, and this one so it's a little bit darkened. And it will give a separation to the edge. So we have a little bit of edge separation there, and then it will give that sort of appearance. And we could probably actually stand darkening this one a little bit. Maybe even pulling its color a little separate this way. So something like that. Let's go like this. So we'll get that color fully separated and distinct. There, that's got a nice look. Okay, let's go over to an orange. So we're going to just draw an orange and then do this one. Whoops, I did it again. Forgot to click off. Something like that. We'll draw the circle and get rid of this one. So we'll delete that. And we'll line this up on the edge. Grab the handle. Do the control key or alt key. and just maximize that on that edge. That's a little bit too bigger than the edge can handle. Let's have a look here though and see. No, that's okay. We'll just leave it like that. So I want to get that color a little brighter in the middle. Let's see if this does the trick. Yeah, that works for me. Gets it a nice brighter color there. So let's take and copy that, paste it, we'll center it, use the arrow key to move it. So maybe something like that will work. Then we'll draw a rectangle. So let's make that just a line. Like that. And we're just going to make like a measuring tool. So we can sort of measure the space in between the two lights. And let's use the control points to refine that. So that should work okay. So we'll just move that over like this. And that way we can get the lights to be really have a good even appearance. Let's select those, we'll copy, paste, pick it up, center it, and then use the arrow key. So this part is a little slow going. But getting these lined up, I think, will be beneficial and kind of worth a little bit of effort. So we'll just move this over again. A little bit harder to see that against the darkness. Maybe I could have worked down here and then moved the whole set of lights up. But we'll just muddle through like this. So that should be good. We'll probably only need 2 more lights, but let's just copy all 4 just in case. So we'll copy, paste those. It's best to center them and just march them over here. So again, this is a little bit slow. We'll see how it works out. And I think that should have it right there. So we'll just take these 2 extras and delete them. So we'll delete those. We'll actually, pick this up, center it over here, and move it to this side. And then make a copy of all of these. We'll make a copy of that many, and that should be enough. So we'll copy, paste, send her that, and just drive them over to this side. That will fill in the whole edge. And that's a little too far. That should be good there. So that comes off the whole edge. We're gonna see how we can get that to work though. Yeah, we'll see what we can do with that. It gives me an idea to try for the animation on that. So we'll select all of them and then press the group button, and that way we should be able to select them all at once now. And we can delete the measure line. And we might want to select this up and just drop these control points a little. Whoops, that's not what I was aiming for. And we might want to expand them a little bit also. We'll see how it goes with the animation. So that looks okay to me. So now we have it like that. They're all grouped. So now we're going to duplicate this. Should have changed the name. We'll just call it UFO in small print. So we have UFO 2, UFO 1. Let's do a little block of code. We're just going to put in a forever and the next costume and click it. So the animation is started and it's just a matter of getting the animation to work now. So what I'm thinking here is that if we select it and we just start moving it, it's going to start moving. So let's have a look at that. Now, let's change the name of this one. We're going to call it 3. Now we can duplicate this frame and duplicate this frame, and that should slow it down. So let's see how that looks. That kind of has the effect, except that one of the lights is popping out, and it has a strange jitter. And I'll remind the viewer that I also get a strange interaction between my video capture software and the frame rate for the games. So it causes a stutter to appear in the video that doesn't appear in the game playback capacity. So we have 2 frames like this and 2 frames like this, which has a ball that's kind of right off of the edge. So what we're going to want to do with this ball is let's ungroup it. We'll make a duplicate of it. So this one should be ungrouped now. Oh, it is not ungrouped. Okay, well, let's, oh, there it is ungrouped. So we're going to make a copy of it. And let's work in number 3. So we'll ungroup. That should let us select just this one. So we'll make a copy, we'll paste it, we'll center it like this. And then on this one, we're going to zoom way in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the handles on this. By putting one in right next to it. Missed. And missed again. There we go. Then we'll delete this one, and this one. So cut it off of the edge. And then we'll see, yeah, that's almost perfectly on the edge, so that works fine. Then we have this one. And we're just going to drive it over to the other edge. Let's zoom back and get it over there more quickly. And this will just eye out. Something like that. And we'll just see how this works out. This is just an idea. So we'll get the control points. We'll put one right next to it. One right next to it that cuts off its handles. Delete these ones. And it will end up with a flat side. So we'll delete that. Let's take this and move it out. Something like that. It's not quite the effect I was looking for. We'll see though. And it does have a problem because this animation is incorrect now. Because we have duplicate frames. So this will probably make a difference in the way that appears. Not quite what I was hoping for. I wanted to get a little bit like the light was wrapping around, but it's kind of close. And I'd imagine that getting the light to have the appearance of wrapping around would probably involve something along these lines. So give it a little bit of dimension, like this. And let's undo that and use the arrow key. So something along that line to pull it out and give it some shape. And then do the same thing on this side. Take it, give it a control point just about in the center and pull it out. Like that. Then we can get rid of that one and duplicate it again. Now it'll probably look a little bit more convincing. Yeah, it's a little bit more convincing, but without the other dots changing shape, it's kind of not convincing. So I could probably take control of that slight weirdness by not letting it run full bore, because I notice that if I do a loop like this, this is a really full bore loop. I don't think that that the website likes all the users to be making forever loops that are doing so little, so it would naturally stutter here where it might not stutter on my computer. So by putting in a time, it would likely even that out a bit. Now, yeah, it looks like there's a little pixel shifting in the dome, so I'm not sure what would be causing that. But what we're going to do with the dome is its own little animation. So let's zoom back. Here, we'll go like this. And address the dome a little bit. So we have this one. Let's get this to, let's see. Should we darken or lighten? I don't know. So let's see. That's the one color. So let's do something like this. We'll get it to pulse a little bit. By playing around with this color a little. So that'll give us a little bit of a light pulsing on the inside of it. So something like that. So I'm going to settle for that as the animation. Gives it a little bit of action. Then we'll do the scaling on it here. Let's try it at around 50. So somewhere around that size would be right. In the next video we'll come back and we'll make it randomly appear along the two edges and give it like flight angles so that it can randomly appear. But we'll contain where it can travel along X and how much of an angle it can have on Y, so that it doesn't do things like the asteroid and travel sort of in this fashion. I'm not sure what's up there. That's probably the explosion. I don't know. Can't grab it, whatever it is. It's probably another one of those things. Oh, it's the rocket stuck up there. So yeah, that's it for this video. In the next video we'll come back and we'll get them moving, and that was a little bit slow to make such a simple animation, but that's kind of the way it goes. And I'm not the most artistic person, so that's what I can come up with in that amount of time. So hopefully it's helpful to someone, and until the next video, take care.